Hello guys, what is going on? My name is NoPunIntended, and welcome to coverage of my Week 2 battle for the Minor Pokemon League. If you guys enjoy my Draft League content, then please make sure to leave a like or a comment on the video, because that would be nice, and I would appreciate it. Today is going to be a very, very big day for the Philadephia Aegislash, as well as a very difficult day for the Philadephia Aegislash. This is where our underdog mentality that I first talked about in the PCL, and is going to spread to this league as well, comes into focus the most. Because we are taking on Sebby, VGC, the coach of the Montreal Monfernos, and I am scared out of my mind for this game because I know that he's an amazing Draft League player, and he's a very successful Draft League player. Can I stop complimenting him now? Oh, okay, I will. His team is also pretty difficult for me to prep against. He has the Raichu. As a rain team, I don't handle fast electric types particularly well. Mega Gardevoir was the highest point total mon in the entire league. Diggersby, I have very few switch-ins for. His team is very, very well constructed on the offensive side. However, on defense, it does have a few weaknesses that I think I can exploit, and that's kind of where I aim for my team builder. So let's get into that right now. The primary offensive playmaker for me this week is going to be my Keldeo, running the choice specs in order to get a ton of damage off on Sebby's team. One of the things I realized very quickly about it is that he does not have the best switch-ins to special water-type attacks. His one water resistance team is Cloyster, as well as technically Ferris Seed, but neither of them appreciate Fighting Stab for my Keldeo, and nothing else really wants to take a Hydro Pump or a Scald, so Keldeo is going to be very, very important to my success in this game. Next up is my Musharna. This is my primary answer to Sebby's Cobalion. If it is a Z move mon, Musharna can generally stymie it by paralyzing with Thunder Wave and then just getting off a few Psy Shocks, maybe even setting up a Calm Mind against a potentially bulkier mon like his Munchlax or his Gothorita if I feel like it, but it's primarily a check for Cobalion. We have Rain Politoed with Damp Rock to extend the length of Rain for 8 turns, which is very helpful for my other water types, that being Keldeo and Swampert. It's running Encore to potentially disrupt setup, which Sebby has quite a bit of on his team, and then Rest for a bit of reliable recovery, so I can bring Rain in multiple times over the course of a match. We have Klefki, who's running a especially bulky set in order to check Sebby's Mega Gardevoir, who's arguably his most dangerous mon overall on his team. Not necessarily for the matchup, just because I have this Klefki, but it is nice. Recycle allows me to continuously stream HP into it alongside my Agua Berry, and Light Screen is for a little extra special bulk because I didn't really know what I wanted to put on as the 4th move, as he has a couple of mons that can switch into Thunder Wave, like his Eviolite mons, his Rhydon, or his Diggersby, and I didn't necessarily feel as though a Thunder Wave was really necessary because it could get easily blocked by one of those mons. Mega Swampert is a mon that is not easily blocked by Sebby's team. Again, I'm going with water fighting coverage because it just seems very good against his team. That's partially what Power Up Punch is for, and it also increases the power of Waterfall and Earthquake. It's the only Stealth Rocker on my team. I just kind of had to fit that move on there, but I didn't really feel as though anything else was particularly necessary, so I didn't mind it too badly. And finally, we have Choice Scarf Zero Aura. The only reason why this mon is Choice Scarf is to outpace a potential Agility Diggersby. That is what the speed investment is for. Plasma Fist is a very strong electric type attack. Knockoff removes Eviolites, which Sebby has 5 mons that can potentially run the Eviolite, and then Close Combat hits a lot of his potential electric resist, like his Rhydon or his Munchlax or anything like that. Anyway, that is going to be the team for week number 2. Sebby's squad this week does not have the Cobalion, so Musharna is easily the most expendable mon I have. But as I figured, not great water switch-ins. I'm hopeful that I can use my water types in order to beat him down very quickly. Because of that, I am going to choose to lead with my Politoed to get the rain up as soon as possible, and Sebby is going to lead with the Mega Gardevoir. And this is actually quite fine for me because, as I mentioned in that team builder, Klefki is a very nice check to the Gardevoir, no matter what kind of set it is. I can easily disrupt him by setting up a Light Screen or attacking him with Play Rough, and I'll be able to chew up Gardevoir's Hyper Voice with no trouble at all. It's a quality about Klefki that, while I didn't draft it with that in mind, it is nice to have anyway. It also gives me the freedom to put up a spike, and because all of Sebby's mons are grounded, they'll each take a bit of damage when they come in on the switch. However, in getting up that spike, I allowed Diggersby to get a free switch in. This mon is definitely a threat and a half. I wanted to draft it for this kind of league just because I know how powerful it is, but I just didn't. I could not fit it onto my team. Instead, I have to swap out. I go into my physically defensive Musharna, but he clicks Swords Dance, and now basically I have to sack it off immediately, because even though Musharna is pretty fat, it cannot take a +2 return from a Diggersby. I, however, do have quite a ton of checks for Diggersby, one of which being the Mega Swampert, especially in the rain. I am just going to go for the Waterfall because you don't play around when Diggersby is facing on the other side of the field. He does bring in his Cloyster, and Cloyster has very good physical defense, so it's able to chew up the attack. And then something interesting happens. The rain expires, and I gotta be honest, this really threw me off my game. I was thinking to myself, this shouldn't be happening. I put Damprock on my Politoed, right? And I checked the team builder, and yeah, I did put Damprock on it. So why did the rain only last 5 turns? Is it a bug? Did someone forget to code in Damprock's effect? I have no way of knowing at this point. I was actually very, very upset about this. I spent like 5 or 6 minutes trying to get in contact with the mods on Draft Frontier, trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. And it turns out, I originally thought it was a bug. It wasn't a bug. It was just me not paying attention. So let's go back to turn 1 for a second and explain what happened. So he brings in the Gardevoir onto my Politoed. He traces my Drizzle, and his Drizzle activates first. But because he's not holding a Damp Rock, that's why the rain only lasted 5 turns. I completely missed that. But considering that sort of interaction is uncommon in any Pokemon format, can you really blame me for being flustered about it? Nonetheless, I did kind of spread a false piece of information about the coding in Draft Frontier, and so for that, I apologize for my ignorance. But I will say this, after I learned that the rain only lasted for 5 turns on that particular circumstance, I did kind of get a bit tilted, and that may have influenced some of the plays I made in later turns of the game. So there's a bit of context for you. Anyway, let's head back to turn 6. I'm very fearful about the potential for Shell Smash Cloyster, so I swap hard into my Keldeo knowing that it is in fact an Ice Resist, and it can throw off a Secret Sword to knock out the Cloyster. But instead, Sebby goes for Toxic Spikes. Now I'm regretting not bringing my Vileplume, but because I don't have it, it's a very good play on his end because my team does not appreciate getting worn down by a Toxic Spike. The team I brought does not have hazard removal, so I just kind of have to sit there and take the poison damage as it may. The best thing I can possibly do to win this game is just to throw off as many powerful attacks as I can, and that is kind of the reason why I locked myself into Hydro Pump here. I thought there was a good chance he might try to switch out of Cloyster, and he does go into the Gothorita, which gets 2-hit KO'd by the pump, so no Shadow Attack shenanigans this game. Actually, I lied, there's a little bit of Shadow Attack shenanigans because I missed a second Hydro Pump, and he's able to get off a Psyshock and deal 53% to my Keldeo, which is annoying because it's going to have to come back in on the Toxic Spike eventually, and that's fewer turns it's going to be able to last being poisoned. Nonetheless, we do take out the Gothorita, so we clinch not being 6-0'd by Sebby, which is a feat in and of itself. But I am going to have to switch out of the incoming Raichu, and my play here really should have been to go hard into Zeraora, realizing that the team that he brought, Zeraora doesn't really appreciate very much because he has 3 electric immunities, and his Gardevoir can easily tank close combat, which is my only move that I can go for. So I should have swapped into that instead of Politoed in order to deter him from going for an electric-type move, in this case the Volt Switch. But now I just let my Politoed take 52% in the name of getting up the rain once again, which really wasn't worth it in the long run, because he gets to go back into his Diggersby, and I still don't have any switch-ins to this Mon, so I elect to just sack my Politoed and go hard into Mega Swampert in order to try to punch holes in this team, because that's really what Mega Swampert does best anyway. I'm actually going to go for the Power-Up Punch here, anticipating a switch into some kind of a sack so I can more easily kill it off, and that is what happens as Sebby does go into the Cloyster. Reveals a Chople Berry, but that's not going to matter too much because a +1 Earthquake is going to be enough to force Cloyster's health down to 0. And I think I might actually be in the clear here, just because Sebby doesn't appear to have anything that outspeeds a Swampert with Rain, but never underestimate the capabilities of a good Draft League player, because he goes hard into his Raichu, and I really should have seen Choice Scarf coming. I have a Choice Scarf Electric type of my own. I don't know why I didn't consider the potential for Scarfed Grass Knot Raichu in this game. Big mistake on my end. I think I was still kind of tilted and I didn't realize it, but that's really no excuse for forgetting about that. Once I lost my Swampert though, I lost my most consistent attacker for this matchup. So now I have to bring in Klefki on the Raichu. I go straight for the Play Rough as he brings in a Diggersby, so I do a decent chunk of damage to it, but Diggersby is basically going to claim another kill here, and I don't have a choice about it, as Klefki was a bit too passive for me in all honesty. But now I can go into my Keldeo. I clicked Aqua Jet, probably wasn't the best idea in hindsight, but I wanted to make sure that the Diggersby didn't have Quick Attack, as that is a feasible move that it can potentially run. I do manage to take out Diggersby, however, because I'm locked into Aqua Jet, Sebby now doesn't have to worry about taking a ton of damage with his Mega Gardevoir. He can just go for the Hyper Voice, kill my Keldeo from beyond the light screen, and my final Mon is the Zeraora. I choose to lock myself into close combat on the off chance he switches out into Rhydon or Raichu. Had I gone for Plasma Fist, I probably could have obtained an additional point of differential, but do we really care about that at this point? I'm 0-2. What am I supposed to do? So, we do end up losing this battle 3-0. Sebby, you played very well. GG to you. I definitely understand the hype around you. At least the hype that my good friend Matty Brawlock talks about. Just because he has an eye for good Draft League players, and you're one of them. I'm really not happy about my performance these past 2 games. I set a higher standard for myself. Admittedly, I have played 2 very tough opponents, but I just want to win a game in this league. Can we get one, please? We don't have very much time to prove ourselves this regular season. We only have 5 more games on the schedule, so let's make them all count. I swear to God, this team can work. It can win games. I just have to get out of my own way. That's all. But I want to thank you all so much for watching this. Please make sure to check out the channel links for Sebby and the other minor Pokemon League coaches in the description of this video. Please remember to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed my content. Subscribe to the channel for more Draft League battles in the future. And until I see you next time, take care.